Hello and welcome to episode 96. We're getting close. Of the Heart of Markness podcast. I am Mark, in case you hadn't guessed that by now. He said it. Now we know his name. And the performance that we're going to highlight tonight is Led Zeppelin, Providence, Rhode Island, July 21st, 1973. This is up there with being in contender for the best North American 73 show. I mean, there are others, but it's top tier for sure. And it is really, really brilliant. It's a night after the legendary Riotous concert in Boston, where the band played only 2 hours. They dropped a bunch of songs because the crowd was so fucking crazy. Remember that show at Madison Square Garden? I think it was 1971, maybe it was 1970, where the crowd crawled up and collapsed the stage. It was like that, but it was Boston, so it was just elbows and fists, and it's a wild town, and I love it, and it's a great rock and roll town, but they went too far, and it was a shitty vibe, and the band were not happy. They played no encores, and they left because it was borderline riotous. And I think even the mayor at the time, who was Kevin White, who was the mayor in the 80s when I lived in the area, banned Led Zeppelin because the people, they didn't give an encore, so the people rioted and tore the seats and shit. I can't remember. That's just something that's in my brain. It may be something else, but I think that's what happened. Anyway, Zeppelin never played Boston again. And Page Plant did in 95 and 98. But I never saw a show at the Boston Garden because the acoustics were horrible. And by the time I was going to concerts, the Worcester Centrum was the place to go. And that was in Worcester, outside of Boston, but still equidistant-ish, and a much better venue for shows. And in fact, when Jimmy and the Black Crowes did their tour, they played Worcester instead of Boston, probably for that reason. But who knows? Anyways, hello and welcome. This is Providence, Rhode Island. We got Led Zeppelin. There's your background. Same set list as the song remains the same. No surprises there. What is surprising is the tremendous ability and fluency of Mr. Page. It's a great 73 show. He's brilliant, inventive, tight on it. And I mean, he is for mostly 73 anyways, but this is, I would put this show in contention anyways. It could stay in the same car, ride in the same car as the Europe 73 shows, which are lauded to be the best instrumental Zeppelin shows ever. And if you don't know that and you haven't, flip through my timeline and find the show about, or two of them, about Vienna 1973. Unbelievable powerhouse. Jimmy and Bonzo were at their peak. Robert was not. And wow, good stuff. And here we've got the same wow, good stuff, without the malevolent vibes of Boston. Zeppelin in Providence, Rhode Island. It's very, very wonderful. Decent recording. Actually, it's a very good recording. It was taped Sony mics in a Nakamichi rig, but the downside is most of the concert was taped on a shitty C120 cassette, 120 minutes long, and they suck because they're very, very thin to fit 120 minutes of tape on the hub. So you have less backing, you have less oxide, and you have more stretching and just less. You have less all the way. But it's okay. It sounds good, and after no quarter, or around no quarter, the tape flips and changes to a better quality tape, and the quality of the show improves. Nonetheless, irregardless, it is it's a great show, and really, I mean, it's very good quality. No doubt about that. I'm not giving you the heads up as to like, yikes, here we go. Just an explanation, as it were. So, anything else I need to talk about? Anything else coming out? Oh, Dave Lewis in Tight But Loose today, I think, talked about something done by Blockbuster, who was a member of Royal Orleans. At least I knew him under that name on Royal Orleans. He put together a really neat archive of live Zeppelin radio appearances. Whoops, hang on one second, please. I got a text. And I'm back. You would have never known I'm gone, except there would have been a change in tone and vibe. Because time has passed. My coworker, actually, my subordinate at work, was like, hey, can I go home? It's snowing. And here in Oregon, it's one of those places where, at least in Portland, Oregon, where if it snows, it's the end of the world. But this is a real East Coast snow. It's cold and biting. It's going to be in the 20s tomorrow. It rarely gets that cold here. And we're supposed to have like 3 days of snow. And it started and it's sleety and it's freezing rain. And we're about, an hour from full dark. And when that happens, it's going to be icy, icy, icy. Not going to be a good time. I hope I don't lose power. I also hope I don't have to go into work tomorrow. But I'm probably going to end up going in, from like 8 and then going home at like 11. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. Could be worse. I grew up in New Hampshire where you went to work if it snowed. And if it was a foot of snow, well then holy shit. Drive slowly, leave early, and get there on time. All right, friendos, where were we? Yes, Led Zeppelin, Providence, Rhode Island, July 21st. We are going to play, first of all, a wonderful version of Over the Hills and Far Away. Now, those of you who know me know that I love the 1975 Over the Hills and Far Away, by and large, because of the funkiness and the bass and the drum interplay really, really pops on all those sweet, delicious soundboards. 1973 Over the Hills and Far Away is fine. It never really reached out and grabbed me. This one reached out and grabbed me. First of all, because it's in tune, which is the downside to some of 75, a bunch of 75. Disappointing. A lot of folks it doesn't bother, but it bothers the fuck out of me. But that's okay. We don't have to deal with that. So Over the Hills and Far Away, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Less than 8 minutes in and I'm getting to work. Professional, this one. Yes. All right, friendos. Over the Hills and Far Away, Providence, Rhode Island. Enjoy.
I was going to say it's nice to be back, but I don't think we've been here before. I could be wrong. This is this is from an album that we finally managed to make a title for, Houses Are Holy. This is a track from it. It's about one of the roads that you have to walk.
That was good. That was good. And the thing about this tape is you could tell that they're in a good place sonic wise. They're in a good location. You can tell that they have a good setup because you can hear Bonzo's cymbals and all that stuff. It's just kind of buried because of the limitations of the tape itself, and which is a bummer. But it was still good, right? Right? All right. Now I've got one for you that is the doozy. This is several people consider this the greatest no quarter of all time, or at least definitely the greatest of the 73 tour. We all have our favorites. This is an excellent no quarter, and it does, if memory serves, have better sound, more clarity than the Over the Hills and Far Away. Now, I could babble more and tell you things like, what could I tell you? I just read a bunch of stuff. The 73 tour. Oh, I have so much stuff going on here. All right, I've got a lot of stuff to deal with at the moment. Nothing bad, but just a flurry of texts came in dealing with snow day shit. So I'm going to drop no quarter on you, and I'll be back in how long? Oh, a mere 15 minutes. Heavens to Betsy. See you in a bit.
Thing of Houses of Holy features Jones the on synthesized piano. Right, this is called No Quarter, John Paul Jones. side by side with God. The devil mocks them every step. The snow glides back, the footsteps fall. The dogs of doom are howling more. Right. We're getting warmed up a bit now. This is something that takes the temperature right up. It's from the new album. What's this on the floor here? Hello, hello. A number. A number. I think I'm going to just one of the security men. Okay, on that. This is one.
It depicts what, Robert? It depicts what? We'll never know. Well, you'll never know. Unless you download the whole show from heartofmarkness.com, which you can for free. Because I love you. And people support me and allow me to do this for you. So it's win-win. And speaking of all that stuff, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Spotify, and everywhere you can find podcasts. Obviously, because you're listening to me, all right? And there is the heartofmarkness.com, which is where I put my shows. Kind of. You know, in as much as that's where you can go to get the links to my shows. And almost every show that I cover, I share. Sometimes I don't, because sometimes I don't have it. Because in the early days, I would link to other people's shows. I'd link to where I got the show, and it's just not there anymore, and I still don't have it. But by and large, you can find just about everything I cover, the show that I cover, from heartofmarkness.com. So avail yourself of that resource. And if you like what I do and you like how I do it and you are of a mind and means to contribute and support tangibly, you are invited to do so at patreon.com/heartofmarkness. Not heartofmarkness.com /heartofmarkness. Solamente Heart of Markness. And you will get your name read out like I am reading out this honor roll, which I believe I've forgotten the last couple of times. Sorry, folks. And a laurel and hearty handshakes to the current titans upon whose shoulders rests the heart of Markness. So thank you to Jeff, Chris, Michael, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad, Danielle, who still hasn't gotten her W-2, Tracy, David, Peter, Mark, Other David, Bonzo Billy, and Mimo. Thank you, my friends, for allowing me and supporting me in this project as I figure out how I'm doing it, and now I do it, and haven't let you down yet, have I? Haven't skipped a week, I don't think, other than that beginning when I would skip months. But now, well over a year of every single week, twice a week, 3 times this week. You are too lucky. I am too good to you. Not at all. You're too good to me. All right, friendos, one more song for you. This one is definitely using the better tape of the night. Same rig, same guy, just a better quality cassette, and you will hear the difference. And it is good old-fashioned Heartbreaker, which is fun, and Jimmy is, of course, on fire. But so is Bonzo. Enjoy, my dear friends. There's the stuff. That's what we're talking about. What a band. Great show. Providence. I highly recommend you check it out. Yes, The Song Remains the Same is awesome. Yes, that version of that tour is most likely etched in your brain. But it is worth it to explore outside the box. There's good stuff that happened. Here is the set list for that night, in case you can't remember or you didn't know. Rock and Roll, Celebration Day, Black Dog, Over the Hills and Far Away, Misty Mountain Hop, Since I've Been Loving You, No Quarter. The Song Remains the Same. There's a little bit of a cut there. The Rain Song, Dazed and Confused. There's another little cut in that. Stairway to Heaven, Moby Dick, 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 Dick. Heartbreaker, Whole Lotta Love, and The Ocean. This Stairway is really good too. Why didn't you play it then, Mark? 'Cause download the show and you'll see. This is not going to be a two-parter, I don't believe. Nah, it won't be a two-parter. Download the show. It's a really good one. Next week, what do I have in store? Oh, I don't know. I downloaded some good stuff last night. We shall see. And if something else pops up from those diligent diggers at the Dogs of Doom, I'll make sure to let you know. And, there are other Led Zeppelin podcasts in the world. If you want to fill out, pad your portfolio, as it were. Brian Gardner is back again, thank God, with Ramble On Radio, Led Zeppelin podcast, the oldest Led Zeppelin podcast on this or any other internet. And it's great. News, a little bit of live stuff, news, context, this day in Zeppelin kind of stuff, and just basically another voice in your head, a little more coherent, and less focused on playing the live stuff and more focused on the data. It's very good. Very complimentary wine and cheese, I think Brian and I are. So that's Ramble On Radio. And then on YouTube, a gentleman named Chris, who I can never remember your last name, Chris, I'm sorry, Over the Top. Shows similar in ways to mine in that he focuses on live stuff, but he takes fan requests and kind of makes a montage and talks about the concert. Shorter episodes typically than mine, a little more focused, and it's on YouTube. And hey, you can never ever get too much Zeppelin. And I think there was someone named Zepp Fan at one time who had a collector's podcast of Led Zeppelin stuff. I don't know how far he got. I only know the first episode, which was, the most valuable 45 sleeves, I think. That's really cool too. So, there's a lot out there. Never stop listening to me. But there are other folks to listen to as well. All right? Your mom and dad love you both equally. Now go to bed. All right, friendos, it is sleeting outside. The wind is blowing. I hope I don't lose power. And I got to keep my eye out because I've got a robot from Amazon delivering my groceries. Oh, getting closer. And I want to be there when he gets there because they just drop it off on the porch, which is usually fine. But if it's this shitty out, I don't want it blowing all across the yard. All right, friendos, you needed to have that little glimpse into my life, I know. But across the 45-minute mark. Yay. All right, guys, I will talk to you in a few days with the classic rock episode. Rest in peace, Chick Corea. I do have a Return to Forever show taped by Mike Millard. I will probably dust out in tribute. All right, guys, be good to yourselves and each other. And again, thank you very much for listening.